Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a massive evolution of human consciousness. We're breaking down a text that literally challenges us to step out of the everyday shadows of suffering and into a seriously bright, illuminated future. If you've ever looked around and wondered how we actually fix the deep systemic issues we face globally, well, you're exactly where you need to be. We're going to unpack the transformation of global consciousness and zero in on how aware leadership is the absolute key to creating a rich, beautiful quality of life. So let's get right into the source material. We've got to start with this incredibly heavy, powerful claim from the text. The root of human suffering is human ignorance. Boom. That sentence alone forces us to completely reframe how we view the world, right? It asks us to recognize that our pain, the friction in our societies, the global crises we face, they aren't some kind of external curse or just bad luck. Actually, they're a direct byproduct of our own lack of awareness. It's a bold starting point for sure, but it perfectly sets the stage for a deeply empowering message about how we actually have the power to change things. Section 1. The root of suffering. The source text establishes a really fascinating dynamic here. It points out that the single most important thing a human being can do in their lifetime is simply to awaken. Why? Because remaining unaware doesn't just keep you in the dark, it actively generates hardship. Unaware people make living full of suffering and difficult, not just for themselves, but literally for everyone around them. Think about that for a second. Ignorance isn't just a passive state of not knowing, it's an active engine of difficulty. When we're operating on autopilot without consciousness or real empathy, we just create friction. We bump into each other, causing pain that ripples all the way out through our communities. And the text illustrates this point with a brilliant touch of stark reality. No one has come from another planet to annoy the people on Earth. I absolutely love this line because it completely strips away all of our favorite excuses. When things go wrong in society, we can't just blame some mysterious outside force. Sadly, aliens haven't traveled across the galaxy just to ruin your morning commute. The responsibility lies entirely with us. We are the absolute architects of our own environment. Section 2. Creators and Destroyers. This builds perfectly into an understanding of our fundamental human duality. The source text establishes that we carry two very distinct capacities. On one hand, we hold the destroyer archetype, and that is fueled entirely by that ignorance we just talked about. When we're asleep at the wheel, we consume, we clash, and we tear things down. But simultaneously, we hold an immense capacity as creators, which is unlocked by awareness. This is the absolute crux of transforming global consciousness. Humanity alone holds the power to either completely tear down our world or to forge a breathtakingly beautiful existence. It all depends entirely on which fuel source we're using, ignorance or awareness. Section 3. Awakened Leadership. Now, this is where the real global impact comes into play. The source asserts that if awakened and aware human beings held the reins of affairs and the leadership of humanity, all of our lives would change. It's a pretty compelling vision, isn't it? Just imagine a world where the people making decisions for millions aren't driven by ego or fear or unawareness, but by a profound awakened consciousness. The text suggests that if this were the case, we would all, in literally every single aspect of our lives, have a much higher quality and richer experience. It's not just about passing better policies. It's about a fundamental shift in the very frequency of how our world operates.
So how do we actually get those awakened leaders? The text maps out a brilliant, logical chain of events. Step 1 is individual awakening. If all human beings simply do something for their own awareness, they elevate their own baseline. And that leads directly to step 2, choosing awakened leaders. The source argues that aware people will, without a doubt, choose leaders for their land who are also awakened and aware, just like themselves. Essentially, we elect reflections of our own collective consciousness. And that culminates in step 3, a richer quality of life for absolutely everyone. It's a beautiful reminder that global transformation doesn't start from the top down. It starts from the inside out. Your personal awakening is actually a massive global act.
Section 4. Creating a Beautiful Life. Our source concludes with this epic, emotional call to action. Be awakened and aware and bring something beautiful, amazing, and magical to yourself and humanity every single day. You see, it's not enough to just sit alone in a room and be privately enlightened. True awareness demands action. It demands that we use our newfound consciousness to actively inject magic and beauty into the everyday human experience. It's a daily practice. Whether that's a massive societal project or just a brief, totally genuine, kind interaction with a stranger at the grocery store, being a conscious creator means you are actively dismantling human suffering by replacing it with something amazing. To wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a final, provocative thought to chew on. You have the literal power of a creator, and the world is waiting for your specific contribution. So what beautiful, amazing, or magical thing will you consciously create today? Think about that as you step out of the shadows of ignorance and into your own brilliant awakening. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this incredible source material, and I'll catch you on the next one.